What's up, y'all? Hope you guys are doing well this Wednesday. And, last week Chuck got to share what I think is probably some of the best news anyone could ever get. And it's just simply this big idea that God doesn't give us what we deserve. I think on the one hand, just being reminded that, man, there's nothing I can do to earn or deserve his love and his grace. And number two, that even as a Christian, it's not my results and my hard work that earns his favor either. It's none of those things. And so I wanted to start there because that's where we left off. The religious leaders were like, hey, this centurion, he's worthy of you to do whatever he needs because of X, Y, and Z. And we're going to see as I read on that the centurion had a different perspective. And so we're going to pick this up in verse 6 where it says, and Jesus went. The centurion says, Lord, hold on to that. Lord, do not trouble yourself. I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. Therefore, I did not presume to come to you, but say the word, and my servant will be healed. So a couple things right there that really grab a hold. Number one, he starts out with Lord. Now remember, this guy's a centurion. He's a Roman centurion soldier. He's like a killing machine over hundreds of Roman soldiers, and he's acknowledging the lordship of Jesus. And I think, man, that's a really good starting place for us all, that we all want Jesus as a savior, but do we want Jesus as Lord? Is he Lord over your life? But then the next part where he says, I am not worthy, like I think that really reflects the inner belief that he had of himself, the right perspective that he had. That really shows humility. That really shows a level of humility, and that's, I'm going to assume, is pretty rare in a guy that holds the position that he holds. You see, I think some people get so misconstrued on what it means to be a Christian, because the one prerequisite you've got to have to be a Christian is to understand that you're not worthy. Is to understand that you have sin in your life, that because of that sin, we're not worthy. We're going to miss the boat. We're going to miss the mark every time. But God, but Jesus, and he fills that gap. It's having a level of right view and perspective of ourselves in light of God's goodness and his holiness, and it's called humility. And I think the interesting thing is it wasn't but a verse before where the religious leaders are like, he's worthy. In verse 4, it says, he is worthy for you to do this. He is deserving for you to do this. And yet here the centurion's like, I am not worthy. I am not deserving of this. And so we just see this really incredible level of what I'll call bold humility. Bold humility. And if I'm honest, I think these days that's a quality that's lacking, is bold humility. But then right after that, we also see bold faith. But say the word. Like there was no confusion there for him. But maybe if you feel like you can, or maybe if you think you got time, or maybe if you can try to heal him. No, he's like, say the word. Like there's a bold faith in who Jesus is and what Jesus can do. We see that where he starts out with Lord, acknowledging God's lordship, acknowledging the lordship of Jesus, but then says, but say the word. Man, I don't know that I'm there yet. I hope to get there, and I maybe I've had moments, but to where I can just look at Jesus and say, but say the word. And whatever the situation is that I'm facing, whether it's praying for others that are hurting with cancer or whatever the hardship is, or if there's something in my own life that I'm struggling with or wrestling with, to have the bold faith to say, but say the word, Jesus, because I know where my help comes from. His name, Jesus. And so I don't know what that looks like for you today. Where do you need Jesus to say a word? Is there a longing in your heart? Is there something happening in your life? Is there some healing that you're hoping for? Is there something you're seeking in prayer? If I could encourage you, but say the word. And this isn't health and wealth, God's going to make you rich stuff. No, bold humility drives bold faith. Bold humility drives bold faith. That God's not going to do all those things because you've earned it, because you've deserved it, because you showed up at church this week, or because you tithe 10%. That's not how God rolls, man. Bold humility drives bold faith. And so I don't know what that looks like for you today, but hey, I hope it blesses y'all. Thanks for spending a few minutes. We'll see you back next week on Wednesday.